2023 looks to be a very strong year for new roller coasters. Per the roller coaster database, 180 new roller coasters are scheduled to open this year. Typically, I try to get this list out in Q1, but I wanted to wait until rides are further along in their construction and testing phases. Heck, some of these rides have already opened to rave reviews at this point, but I should be getting on a handful of them this summer. So in this video, I will rank my top 25 most anticipated coasters in 2023. Before starting the list, I want to note a few rides that will be excluded. First, there will be no mountain coasters. There are 10 scheduled to open this year. They're usually fun, but the experiences often blend together, so I'm more excited for the 25 more unique rides coming out. Second, I am not including any of the coasters with unknown layouts. This means you'll not see the GCI coming to Happy Valley Changan, or the Mach-launched Big Dipper coming to SunWorld Bana Hills. Third, I want to give honorable mentions to the two creations from Jinma rides. You have the Aurora Flying Coaster at Silk Road Paradise, and Rush out of Yulin Stronghold at Sanya Silk Road Happy World. They developed a reputation for poorly ripping off other manufacturers. Their rides were known for being very rough. Their two newest rides look significantly better, both in terms of layout and profiling, but I'm going to have to wait until more reviews come out before increasing my excitement level. Number 25. DarKoaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This is an Intamin straddle coaster entirely indoors. It promises to continue the story of Curse of Dark Castle, the Dark Ride it replaced. Motocoasters typically have punchy launches and a great sense of speed, and I imagine they'll be accentuated by the darkened environment and some special effects. This should help compensate for the ride's short length and height. Number 24. The Motorbike Coaster at Fuji-Q Highland. This is another Intamin straddle coaster, but it's a larger, more involved one. I imagine the tire-driven launches will have deceptive force to them like the ones in Juvelin. Then the layout has a mix of larger, heavily twisted hills, plus some low turns. Number 23. Maximus der Flug des Wachters at Legoland Dutchland. This is a small B&M wing coaster, but the initial helix looks like it could have some sustained Gs, and the two inversions appear to have incredible hang time. I really hope this ride is a success for the park, and it's added to more Legoland parks across the globe. Number 22. Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington World of Adventures. This is yet another small-scale B&M wing coaster, but this one is unique for being a shuttle coaster. You have a multi-pass launch, spikes in both ends of the layout, and a super slow barrel roll. I'm particularly excited for the hang time on the backwards pass. Number 21. Gozimba Serengeti Park. This may be the weirdest coaster in this list. It is an air loop from RES. Take the vehicle from a Gerstlauer Skyfly and put it on a coaster track. That's basically what this coaster is. Skyflies are one of my favorite flat rides. I can get dozens of flips on them. So I'm intrigued how different the experience will feel navigating a full layout with a series of twists, turns, and dips. It should make the flipping even more disorienting. Number 20. Uncharted at PortAventura. This is an indoor multi-launch coaster from Intamin. While it has modest stats, the quirky elements should keep riders on their toes. Then the theming should elevate the whole experience. I'm not attached to the film franchise, but I hope there's a lot to see along the layout. Number 19. Top Gun at Fantawild. This Vekoma launch coaster does not appear to have the same pacing or airtime as their other new coasters, but the inversions look fantastic. That high-speed barrel roll should offer some downright wicked laterals. Number 18. Whale Breaking the Sky at Fully Ocean Happy World. This looks like a cross of Hershey Park's Fahrenheit and one of the 10 inversion coasters Intamin has made. You have a vertical lift and drop. Then you have a layout with 5 inversions. The first two look like they'll get you out of your seat, but I'm not sold on the Cobra roll. Then the second half looks to throw in some airtime pops for variety. Number 17. Zambezi Zinger at Worlds of Fun. This is a funky GCI creation. It's mostly wood, but there are some special steel sections. The spiral lift hill makes it the spiritual successor to the old Schwarzkopf speed racer that came before it, but the layout is far different. It stays low to the ground as it weaves its way through the woods. I know this is being marketed more as a family coaster, so I doubt the airtime will be as strong as some GCIs, but the location and speed should make it plenty enjoyable. Number 16. Storm the Dragon Legend at TusenFryd. This is a weird inverted coaster from Gerstlauer. It will feature a multi-pass launch, and we know this company can make powerful launches. And there's a little bunny hill that should deliver an awesome pop of airtime. There are 2 wild cards for me. First, what forces will the 3 dive loops deliver? Will they offer airtime and laterals, or just positive Gs? Second, will the ride be smooth? Some Gerstlauers can be pretty rattly. Number 15, Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. This looks to be a great family launch coaster from Vekoma. While it may not match the rides ahead of it on this list in terms of intensity, it sports a very long layout with at least a dozen airtime hills. And the ride is onboard audio too. I wish the landscaping around the attraction was more refined, but the elements should be strong enough to stand on their own. Number 14, Tron Light Cycle Power Run at Magic Kingdom. This Vekoma motorbike coaster looks really cool. The initial launch and outdoor turn looked to have great speed to them. Then the indoor sections looked to have some psychedelic theming. I've heard this coaster feels a bit on the shorter side, but I'll happily hop back in line if it delivers a quality experience. Number 13, Matugani at Lost Island Theme Park. This Intamin accelerator coaster was formerly known as Kanonen at Liseberg. While it's a smaller one than the other hydraulic launch coasters, that initial launch should still have some serious yank to it. And the rest of the layout is more complete. You have a rapid series of inversions and airtime hills. Number 12, Pipeline at SeaWorld Orlando. The prototype B&M Surf Coaster is a new generation stand-up coaster. The initial launch looks pretty good. Then instead of delivering a ride chock full of inversions and positive Gs like the old stand-ups, Pipeline is all about the transitions and airtime. And because the seats move up and down a few inches, those negative Gs look really unique and extreme at points. And I've heard this is significantly more comfortable in the older stand-ups. While I have found a way to ride the older ones comfortably, this is a positive development for your average rider. Number 11, the launch coaster at Colorful World. This SNS creation should be getting more attention. It will feature one of their intense pneumatic launches. Then the layout is a mix of airtime hills and inversions. The top hat and smaller hills should have good airtime. Then the low 2 barrel rolls should offer some ferocious whip. Number 10, Mission Ferrari at Ferrari World Abu Dhabi. This long-delayed SFX coaster looks really unique. It has multiple show scenes and some bizarre elements. You have some launches and 2 inversions. Then there's some weird track maneuvers too, including one at the end that's a world's first. Number 9, All-American Triple Loop at Indiana Beach. This is the one ride in this list that I've technically already ridden. I experienced it as Chimera at La Feria de Chapultepec. I have an entire review on that coaster, but in short, it was the most intense coaster I've ever experienced. Part of that may have been Mexico City's high elevation, but the layout was fast and extremely forceful. The 3 inversions had gray-out-inducing positive Gs, and with the lack of braking, the second half had some shocking airtime and lateral moments too. With a few other large Schwarzkopfs closing, I am glad Indiana Beach is giving this ride another chance at life. Number 8, Hyperspace Warp of Fantawild. This looks like an improved version of Energylandia's formula. That ride had a nice mix of airtime, inversions, and positive Gs. It was just on the shorter side. This one has an extended layout with some extra airtime hills, and then the initial launch is replaced by a steep airtime-laden drop. Number 7, Super Boomerang at Fantawild. This Vekoma creation looks to have an incredible layout you experience going both forwards and backwards. It starts off with a big vertical drop. Then you have all sorts of airtime hills, and I'm especially excited to experience them going backwards. Then there are 2 inversions with the barrel roll before the return spike looking particularly special. It reminds me of the final inversion in Great Adventure's old chiller coaster. Number 6, Firestorm at Ocean Flower Island Fairyland. This is a big Vekoma launch coaster. The lone launch should be pretty forceful because it accelerates you to 72 miles per hour in a single pass. Then the main layout has a beautiful mix of airtime hills and inversions. The big question is whether the intensity is closer to Legendia's Let Coaster or Energylandia's Abyssus. If it's closer to the former, this could be one of the world's best coasters. Number 5, Manta at SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. This will be a long, intimate creation featuring 3 LSM launches. Assuming this is a high thrill coaster, I am putting faith in Intamin that the experience will include countless airtime moments and snappy maneuvers. If that's the case, it could be a dark horse candidate for the best ride in the UAE. Number 4, Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park. This RMC hybrid converts the former Wildcat wood coaster into an infinitely smoother and wilder experience. The ride does not look to have as many instances of airtime as the other RMCs, but the hills it does have should deliver. Where this ride truly appears to excel is in the pacing and inversion department. This ride will take you upside down 4 times, and I'm particularly excited for the giant step-up underflip and the zero-G stall. Number 3. Batman Gotham City Escape of Parque Warner Madrid. This is the signature coaster the Spanish theme park desperately needed. The ride looks like a mashup of Velocicoaster and Pantheon. You have 3 launches, all of which should have some oomph to them. Then you have a diverse layout combining airtime hills and inversions, and I fully expect the latter to lift you out of your seat, particularly on that super sustained stall towards the end. Then this coaster is a unique finish with a vertical spike as well. Number 2. Toutatis at Parque Asterix. This is another Intamin LSM launch coaster like Batman, but this one looks to be more airtime centric. It is advertised as having roughly 24 airtime moments. The swing launch sequence should offer a beautiful mix of negative Gs and weightlessness, much like the one on Pantheon. Then the main layout keeps finding ways to toss you from your seat, whether it be a bunny hill or a hang time filled inversion. And placing at number 1 is ArieForce One at Fun Spot Atlanta. I love airtime, and this RMC hybrid looks like the king of the 2023 coasters in this department. Everyone who has ridden this coaster says it has incredible ejector airtime. Heck, some say the quad down at the end is even too much. Then there are 4 great inversions as well. The long zero-G stall looks exceptional, and I've heard the final 2 barrel rolls towards the end are super intense and whippy. This looks like a top tier RMC, meaning it has a shot to place in my top 5 overall coasters when I eventually ride it. So those are my top 25 most anticipated coasters for the 2023 season. The top of the list is dominated by RMC and Intamin, which is not too surprising because I love comparable rides that I've made elsewhere. What are your most anticipated rides in 2023, and if you've experienced any of these already, let me know if I'm hyping them up too much or too little. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.